I was talking to one of the Wild Fig community members yesterday because she was thinking about joining the Enlightenment event and actually has now joined, which I'm delighted about. Um, anyway, she made this really interesting point, which I wanted to talk about because this idea had been swirling in my mind in the morning as well. And then for her to come and talk about it was just absolute perfection. In fact, it even lined up with me having asked the question, what would be really valuable to share about this event? And these thoughts came to me, and then she came in the call with the perfect mirror back of exactly what I'd been thinking. So the thing that she said that really struck me was the fact that this isn't just a bunch of workshops. This Enlightenment event isn't just a collection of separate, independent islands of workshops. This isn't just oh, I'll just drop in, rock up, get some stuff, go away. I mean, it can be that. It can be that if you want it to be that. But oh my God, there is so much more available here. And she made this really beautiful point that my talent, my skill is in making connections, is in bringing seemingly disparate things together and showing the holistic nature of them, showing the alignment between them all, showing the threads that weave through, mirroring back for people in the intuitive way that I receive insights, I receive messages, the words, the responses that come out for a person are intuitively for that person. I hold safe space. I create containers. I'll say something about that word in a second. I create containers where people feel held. They feel the grounded nature of my stability, and that gives them the space and capacity to experience all the stuff that they are there to experience and to transform. And it was so wonderful hearing all of this played back to me because it is what I see I do. And sometimes it's hard for us to see for ourselves what we're really great at. But that is what I bring. That's what people consistently say when I create groups of any kind. And normally they've just been me on my own. But they feel that safety, they feel that ground that allows them to open, that allows them to be themselves in that space, to drop ideas of how you have to show up, to drop pretenses and performances, to be able to actually just be yourself and speak honestly, including all the stuff that you're delighted about and all the stuff that's feeling challenging, because all of it is included. So this enlightenment event isn't just, and it can be, if you want it to be, it can just be a rock up to a workshop and disappear again. But if you really want to immerse into a journey of enlightenment, like a 9-month retreat, even if you just come for 1 month, a 1 month retreat, where you're held in this space, given the opportunity to see what in you wants some light and some love, and to engage with those experts in that, with me providing that holding space of the whole thing, highlighting the threads that weave through the narratives, connecting dots that perhaps haven't been seen that are connected, showing you where there are opportunities for you, showing you where invisibly to you this just looks normal, whereas to me I see the places where you're holding yourself back. I see the places where you're limiting yourself. I see the places where you're lost in confusion because you've picked up all these narratives and your body has stored all these narratives about how you have to be okay. And I know the truth of who you are. So I feel that dissonance. I feel that clunk of, no, that's not who you are, which doesn't make it wrong. It just highlights it as a space for light and love. So I said a moment ago I would talk about this word container. Oh, I could not believe when this word was going around in my head yesterday morning, when I'd asked what message would be useful to share. I was like, oh, you are kidding me. You are kidding me. Because that word is one of those words that I read in like spiritual people's posts or in coachy type people's posts about a safe container, or we're going to come into a container and be held in a container together. And there's something in me that's always gone, oh God, blooming us spiritual coachy folk with our language like this. And then yesterday, the word container pops up in response to this question of what would be valuable. Oh, you are kidding. I'm going to be that person. I'm going to be that person saying, come into this container. Oh man, I can't believe it. But weirdly, with all of what was coming with the feeling of that word and everything that this community member reflected back, it's like, oh, it really is that. If you can imagine, in fact, if you go to spas, if you go for day spas or longer spa breaks, you know when you step into those spaces and there's like that inner, oh, oh, this is nice. I am so glad I'm here. And you're in this gorgeous environment and everything's really slowed down and peaceful, and there's lovely gentle music playing, and there are lovely aromatherapy smells wafting in the air, and people are so comfortable in their robes and slippers walking around and in jacuzzi baths and massages and nice food, nourishing food, and your whole system goes, oh yeah, this is nice. And that's the feeling that came when this word container was in my mind. It was like, oh yes, well, it is that. It is that. And I could see how it's like a crucible holding all that comes into it. It's that holding space, that grounded, holding, loving space that invites in you as you are, holding you, holding all the experts who are coming, holding that vibration of love and light and capacity and potentiality, but primarily love. Because it's that holding of unconditional love that has us remember that in ourselves. I'm not being or doing anything other than you are. I'm simply reminding you of that, because that in you then remembers it and goes, oh, oh yeah, that feels nice. Just like when you step into the spa. So this is so much more than a bunch of workshops, because this container that we're going to create together is going to be so potent, so powerful. Because not only am I holding it in that space, but the collective consciousness of all who join, that shared vibration, then amplifies that. It amplifies that capacity that we already know we are, which means it amplifies the possibility, it amplifies the remembrance of who you really are and your aligned expression as this person. It will also amplify where there are resistances to that. It will also amplify where there are challenges within your system to you being that unique expression. Those bits will feel tough. And that again is why you're held in that space. So that then you journey through the months with all the experts, bringing that love, bringing that love, bringing that love in all these different unique ways, so that it soaks back into your human system so that that remembrance of that love that you are soaks all the way through your human system, through the psychological, through the emotional, through the physical, returning with the spiritual towards the end as that love that you are. That is the love that you are, your spiritual nature. Bringing it all into that holistic theme in July. And then we get to spend August, September, and October integrating, processing, reconnecting with those modalities to remember and remember and remember, so that your default becomes love, so that your default is turning towards yourself in moments of challenge and resistance, so that our default stops being reacting to the contraction as though there's something wrong with me and as though there's something wrong with them, to be able to hold ourselves in that container of love, so that you're empowered to do that for yourself as you continue your expansion in your own aligned, unique expression as a human. Each time we expand and the contractions come, that love is the essential ground for that process, for that journey. So this event really is so much more than a bunch of workshops, if you want it to be. If you want it to be. And if you do, I would so love to see you there. So much love. Take care.